So it was, I think he was out of Oakland. So it was a black guy who was from out of Oakland. Him and Griselda started dating. I guess he was writing her. So I mean, of course, she popular. You know how sometimes even off with the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, these super popular people get locked up and their stories become like national news. So I guess a bunch of people was writing her letters or whatever the case may be. And he had like him a little hustling situation in Oakland or whatever the case may be. And I guess him and her end up building a bond while she was in jail through the letters, and then they got super close. And of course, it's Griselda, so she got clout, and they end up start having like conjugal visits or whatever case. And basically, became her boyfriend. And I think while she was still doing bed, like even her son, they got pictures. There's endless pictures on the internet of them even getting close together with her and her son. I guess her only son is living. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I talked about the Griselda Jones, I didn't see all the way until episode 6. But Jesus Christ, when she was in jail, I don't know if they like bunched the story in super fast. So I don't know if this all played out, but the way they made it seem like when she was in jail, though, all her sons besides her youngest son got killed. And I was like,
And that's
Jesus,
the one who spoke out.
the one who's alive yet. Which was kind of crazy. It was like, dog, I don't even necessarily like. Yeah, that story was OD. I'm not even gonna hold you. The way that joint ended, I was like, God damn, dog. So that was just kind of crazy. But a lot of people was mad that they left out the story, and it was kind of, of course, when we talk about black people, when y'all get on y'all woke stuff, y'all just be like OD. And I'm like, the way they bumped that story, I don't necessarily think they wanted to exclude him out of the story just because he was dating a black man. Like, I don't necessarily think that was it. I think they was just, again, when we talk about that, maybe what they got cut for. I think realistically, if their budget was allowed them to do 10 episodes, I'm sure they would have did 10 episodes. But if the budget only allowed for 6 episodes, they tried a bunch of stuff in 6 episodes. Like, before I even got to episode 6, or I even knew anything about her dating the black dude, and I seen that on Twitter, and then I seen it on TikTok. Before I knew anything about any of that, I just like, damn, all right, it may be okay. Of course, because I seen TJ the Smooth Dude, he was saying like she made a bunch of her money in New York. They didn't have nothing about New York on that whole, out of them 6 episodes. There was no New York nothing in it, so I would have never known. So it's just like, I don't know, dog. I can't. I don't. I'm not gonna use the race thing. I don't think just because he was a black dude they left that out on purpose. I just think they didn't have the budget allowed them to do 6 episodes, so they tried to bunch in whatever they could. I think for them 6 episodes, they did an amazing job. So even maybe, and sometimes, of course, when we talk about seasons and series, and from 50 or Easter, when it was like sometimes the people don't know if they're gonna get, like even with 50, when it was talking about with BMF the very first season, before like they realized that they was gonna keep getting greenlit for extra seasons. The way that first season 1 ended, it ended off, okay, if we never get another season, it was cool. It was fire. It was what it was. And the way it ended, because it was like Big Meech was in jail anyway. So if it ended like this, that is what it is, because that's his story anyway. He's still in jail right now. But then when they got a second season, you seen, okay, now we know we got motion. We're going to be able to keep going. We can kind of pick this up and send it however way we want to send it. But like I said, that Griselda thing, it was a dog. I'm talking about the dude, I read his, John. He literally did I'm talking about, he got one of them super Twitter pages, because I swear to God, it was like 3 paragraphs worth of information he gave. And it was cool. Like, don't get it twisted. Me reading that dude's stuff, even how he was saying when the dude first met, when him and Griselda started actually dating, he went from making like $1,000 a week to and he ended up being like a millionaire. I want to say he said like 45 days. So I get like, okay, that realistically, the way he was breaking that story down, it seemed like that was a huge part of her story. But if they didn't have enough episodes to kind of put it in there and make it make sense, I'm not mad at them for leaving it out, because then they can always just revisit it. Like, if Netflix want to bring it back, I'm sure they could be, you know what I'm saying? They can reword however, whatever, Griselda season 2.
She got killed.
Yeah. But they didn't show it.
Okay.
So you know how like the end of movies, they do the little the screen,
okay. That's why I'm like, she get killed?
Yeah, I want to say, I think did they say like 6 years after she got out of jail or something like that? I can't remember the exact time, because it was towards the end. I really wasn't feeling like reading all that, because the crazy thing about that whole, like, you literally had to read the whole jump. That's the first time, like, and the reason why I don't even watch Top Boy or none of them, because they do all those. One, they do them accents, and then you got to do all the subtitles. I'm not a fan of subtitles, but I sat through that Griselda joint and literally read every jump to the jump, and it was kind of like, I guess the way the speed it had it come on the screen, it was cool, and then it kind of just, it just made sense. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I literally watched the whole jump.
I think it's more if it's not a long, if it's kind of short, you keep it short.
Keep the conversation short. Yeah.
It's not no long, like,
drawn out jump where it's not hard to read, and if it's not moving fast, like if it's moving at a pace,
that's what I'm saying. So if you just kind of keep it short, where it's no in betweens. If it's not like a long rant, then
for sure, exactly.
I get it when you use it.
When they use the subtitles, you're absolutely right. So it was cool. Like I said, but I did see that on Twitter.
And how hard is the, like the language is just like we just speaking straight. So I don't know, you know.
They speak in Spanish, but I think it's in certain parts, like you like what you said, because there's not no long rants, and then in between them speaking Spanish,
It's
they'll throw in
English.
some English as
So
well
that
too.
yeah,
So
so that that's that
so
yeah.
it make it way easier. So even if you couldn't keep up with the reading, because they'll come in with some English in between their conversation, it'll make it a little bit just okay,
Because that's
more
why like some
digestible.
of even like some of them like action movies that I be watching is like, all right, yeah, you use a lot of form, but it's English in between. It's
Mhm.
not just straight dead language the whole time. Then yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, of course. And then I guess what another thing while we talking about just race, and I guess it's just going to be